Hello, everybody. This is Andy Smith, your host with the most, 33-year veteran of the comic book industry, here with the third installment, the final installment of the Best of Wizard Basic Training, How to Draw. This collects, as far as I know, almost, if not every basic training thing, tutorial they did in their magazine after Bart left. After Greg Capullo did his stint, they just had a bunch of different artists come in and do it. They did these books. First, they did this as, I think it was 3 separate books, and then they combined it into this big fatty 250 pages. That's why I did it in 3 parts, so as not have to rush through. We are picking up right here with Sidekicks by Todd Knock. Todd started at Image, started with Rob Liefeld, I believe. Great artist, cartoony, stylized, just really fun. And what I like about this is you can nice and see his understructure here. I've said it once, I said it twice, I said it a million times. Understructure is so very important. Get those basics down. Of course, he's talking about facial expressions. Look at this beautiful hair, kind of manga looking. This is cool. More great construction. Let's see. Dark Raptor. So I'm guessing that these are a couple of Todd's characters. Man, I love his superhero stuff. Just so clean, cool, dynamic. Very cool. And some more right there as well. Is that who he did there? Oh, it is. I can't. Well, yeah, I thought it was Robin, but it is not. It is his character, I would assume. But cool, the best stuff about this, honestly, guys, this under construction is really nice. I mean, you come up with your own after you've been doing it for so long. That's just great. Great stuff. I love Todd's work. Oh, look at that. If I knew that just turning a page, we would have got to chapter 6, I would have started here for this week. Fundamental of page design storytelling, starting off with Joe Kubert. You can't get much better than Joe Kubert teaching storytelling. Look at that. Joe's a great cartoonist, even drew himself all cartoony. So he gives you a script, gives you some tips and stuff there. Talking about doing thumbnails. I still do those myself for every page. And then rough, laying things in. Talking about different shots and stuff. Size variation. I mean, stuff like that can work, but that is, of course, a lot more dramatic. So, oh, look, we're going even more. Camera angles, page design, use a ruler, a good eraser, blue pencil. Look at this. I wish this took up the full page. Joe's rough pencils. Oh, so cool. Panel sequence, micro wingo, fantastic. Talking about timing, very important. Time in comics, getting it across. The panel gutter is actually a space and time from one panel to the next because things happen. And this is a nice example here. Dude standing there, something falls, bangs him on the head. He's like, hey, what the hell? Ouch. Nice and slow. 3 panels, though. Bonk, bonk, ouch. Fast. It gets deeper than that, but just read on and get that Will Eisner book. Oh, different ways you can show the punch. You don't have to show the punch at all. Or it's like, whoop, just a big sound effect. Guy's knocked out. So, cool. Laying out a page with Norm Brayfogle. Norm Brayfogle unfortunately passed away a few years back. This is from a script he did of Prime Captain America. So, it's a fun book anyhow, but go dig it out. And you can see, so he's talking about laying it out. I have the book. I remember that exactly. Love seeing this stuff, these layouts and stuff. basics, guys, when you do your layouts. Don't get all drugged down with details. Oh, there you go. You see his pencils. He inked it himself, I'm pretty sure, so he could pencil a little bit looser. And there's the final page. Panel layout with Terry Dotson. Another script from something, showing the different ways you can lay the panels out. And then this is cool, because Terry's a guy, after he does his thumbnail, he usually goes right to the page. No small and blowing it up, I don't think. So, like, here's his thumbnail. This could be the whole page, full size. Maybe I am wrong. I don't know. I'd have to read all that again. Perspective grid. Start sketching that stuff in. Tightening it up. Boom, full pencils. As you can see right here. And then, of course, the rest of the page. Very nice. Advanced layout. Gary Frank, Steve Lieber, Doug Mahnke, and Terry Moore. Oh, that's pretty cool. Man, I tell you what, I've got this Avenger stuff by Gary. I love this stuff. I love Gary's work. A little thumbnail there by Steve Lieber. Let's see, this is Gary here. Here we go. This is Doug, Terry Moore, all explaining different things. So that's pretty cool. Splash pages with Jim Calafiore. Cool. Once again, you get to see some figure construction. Always very important, so that's really cool. And then there's the final page. Jim's stuff is very graphic and stylized, high contrast. Evolution of a Page, Tom Rainey and Scott Hanna. Scott was inking Tom, so you'll get to see the thumbnails and his thought process. And then loose pencils, tighter, and then finally the finished pencils. And then I'm assuming it's, yes, Scott talking about the inking. There's not a ton of inking in this book, and I don't think, if memory serves, there's a lot that breaks it down like this. So very cool right here, breaking it down. And these are really nice. I mean, the print job on this book is great. Unfortunately, this book by itself, if you try to find it used, I believe is over $100, $150. And then you get the final ink page, really nice. I mean, Scott is just such a great inker. Way the hair, textures, just the reflection on the axe and stuff, very nice. Oh, this is cool. So Joe Kubert, I don't know if they offer these correspondence courses anymore. They probably still offer the books for sale, but this is an assignment from one of the books on storytelling, and in the stuff written in red was on tracing paper, probably over top, and it's the critique, and that's how the correspondence courses worked. So this brave soul agreed to having his stuff printed for Joe to critique. So it's cool, so you can read it and see what he's having to say. Man, he's getting really involved here. That's pretty cool. And this is essential. I have this on my desk. It's Wally Wood. If you don't know who he is, hit Google. Wally Wood, fantastic artist. In the 50s, his lighting, his storytelling, everything was just great. Influenced a lot of artists. Mike Zeck, Kevin Nolan, so many. List is too big. I've got a few books on Wally Wood. 22 panels that will always work. Why do I have it on my desk? Because, sometimes you're looking at a script, and even if I get it laid out, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, I might think to myself, but is there something I could do to punch it up more? And that's when I'll look at this and see if there's something like this I could do. So you Google it, find it online. Reference. Got to use reference, guys. Got to use reference, especially, guys, artists in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, I can even say 90s, like myself. When I broke in, we didn't have Google Images. We had to actually go to a library, and I did for a few jobs. And I even went to a bookstore for some of my first few jobs and bought books that had photos in it I could use for reference for different, scenarios or scenes and stuff that was written in the script. When I taught at UNC Charlotte for 3 or 4 semesters about a decade ago, and I hammered those guys, my students, because there was no excuse for them to say they couldn't get reference when every single one had a cell phone and probably a tablet at their desk. Just no excuse. So you can see like, oh, drawn out of your head, oh, gun, whatever. And then with reference, you see how the pants actually fold into the boots, how the gun actually looks, even how the forms and the pose itself could be better. What else does Joe have? Joe is a big guy, stickler on reference. Creatures and stuff. Even if you make up creatures for a book, you can base it or find creatures to see how they move and go, okay, my creature's going to move kind of like that. And this is from his book, Tor. Planes, outfits, building that wasn't really referenced at all. These figures stick out like a sore thumb, but this background works just great. So, photo reference with Greg Land. Greg and I worked at CrossGen. Greg's a really cool guy. He gets a rap because he, uses reference, traces photos and stuff like that, takes his own photos for stuff. But when it comes down to it, I talked to Greg about it and he's open about it. As you can see, he's doing literally a chapter on it in the book. Famous artists, illustrators back doing, even Neil Adams, but Norman Rockwell, artists like that, they would take photos of models to work from, sometimes some of those guys would use what they called an autograph, not getting a signature, but an artograph, where it was this device that clamped onto your desk, and you'd put the photo into it and it would project it down onto a piece of paper. So, and it's not just tracing stuff off. I mean, there's more to it. You can see, here's Greg, he used that for this. You still have to be able to draw and change things and whatnot. So, it's one of those things. Do I draw that way? No, because I went to the Kubert school, and when I went, it wasn't that they said don't use reference. It was just up until that point, I thought all comic book artists drew straight out of their head after years of practice. And when I went to the Kubert school, it was we learned how to draw the human figure out of our head with a live model compared to learning how to draw the figure from a model. And then here's the finished piece put together. Art Adams talking about texture. I'm going to brag a little bit. I own Art Adams art. I don't own any full pages. I own a couple of blue line layouts. And then I own a piece of 11 by 17 Bristol board. So, standard 11 by 17 Bristol, where he drew some spot drawings. This guy is on it. This is great, by the way, talking about different textures and lighting. Let's see. None of these are on it, but these are great examples too. God, I love that. He draws a female creature from the Black Lagoon that you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, come here now. And it's a, and you're like, wait a second, that's a reptilian creature. Get out of here. By the way, if you've never seen Monkey Man and O'Brien, I highly recommend it. Go get it. It's a great book. Art is just so busy doing covers that we'll never see interiors again, probably. That's a shame. So the other, oh, wait, actually, hold on. I'm sorry, I take it back. The 11 by 17 piece of original art I own by Art Adams has this figure, this bust shot, and this on it. All in 11 by 17, and this figure's a lot bigger than that. It's probably twice the size. So, got it for a great deal. Love that. Very Michael Golden-esque in there. Just great. And then Jim Calafiore talking about metallic surfaces. I think they should have got my buddy Bart Sears because I think Bart does fantastic metal. But, you know, he shows a few different ways to do it and stuff, so that's cool. You know, different characters and whatnot, so. And it works. And once again, you'll find your own way of doing it. But, you know, like, if you go by this exactly, you, just by doing this and copying it, and then you go, oh, now I know how to do it. When you do it yourself out of your head from what you remember, it'll come out different because your own personal taste will come in. Animals by Sean Chen. Sean, great artist. Met him back at Valiant during Birthquake in 94 or so, 95, something like that. Fantastic artist. Wolverine, Iron Man, just worked on great stuff. And he's talking about drawing animals. Different ways to draw the fur. You know, this is a way to draw scales. This is actually neat, the way he's doing it. Fur from a distance, right? You just kind of sketch it in, lizard skin from a distance, scales, and then close up, you know, if the camera's real close on it. So that's cool. Tangent, of course, the way people do Captain America with his, they draw all this. Thank you, John Cassidy. I think he started that. On the blue part of his costume on his torso. Hate it. Hate it. Can't stand it. I like the way Kirby did it, and then Mike Zeck, where it was kind of these black, bloopy shapes that pulled out of shadow areas, and it was indicated, and I like that because, yes, his costume is chainmail for protection, but it's supposed to be underneath the fabric, not above it. And once again, it just slows you down. It's like, are you serious? You know how that's going to slow me down drawing if I have to do that? Nice horse. Nice pig if you ever have to draw one. Great bird here. This is great. Sketch in the way the wings and stuff go. Really nice. Really nice way you did the rendering on it too. That's really nice. A gorilla and a monkey. A lion. I mean, he's great. Look at these. I mean, these are fantastic. He's just showing, once again, the basic shapes. Everything, guys, starts with basic shapes. And then, of course, he ends with a dragon. So once you learn stuff like that in the basic shapes, you can mold them to what you want to create your own. Monsters with Doug Mahnke. Doug started off, I believe, working on The Mask at Dark Horse. Either that or was that character X. Either way, I love Doug's stuff. Love his superhero stuff. He did The Mask vs. Lobo back in the 90s before DC. He did Justice League. Great stuff. His Green Lantern run, to me, is just great. Favorite book he did was a book called Major Bummer. Really good. Go check it out. Dark Horse put out a trade because he created it with John Arcudi. But Doug does great monsters, great textures in his work when he inks. Like right here, very Mobius looking, but just great. Look at that. Ugh. That is just fantastic. And he gives some good tips about silhouettes and shapes and things like that when creating monsters. Silhouettes. And that's just fantastic looking. Sean Chen, drawing vehicles. I mean, you do start off with boxes and then put in shapes. There's a little more to it than that. I kind of wish there was another step in between. That's funny. Iron Man, of course, he had a great run on Iron Man. And I'm sure he says in here, you definitely want to check out photo reference for cars. But he talks about how to show speed. Tilt the wheel forward, elliptical. That's not a perfect circle. Have it off the ground a little bit. I mean, that's really flying, but you know. And then he shows, here's the problem. Yeah, not really. Lack of reference here. This is like the made-up car. When you reference it, you can see how the headlights angle back and the details of the wheels and such. And then you make up your own stuff. And once again, from knowing the basic shapes, you can apply them to make up your own ships. And oh my God, look at that, guys. We're at the end of the book. This is what I was saying, though. These 3 books came out first, and they collected all these into this big one. Now, this big book is about 150 bucks or more, if you can find it. I did a search on eBay, and I could not find this big one we just went through, but I did find all 3 of these, and they all roughly start between 30 and 40 bucks each. So if you want, you can get them all, and then you'll have what I just showed you in 3 separate books. Boom, boom, bang, booyah. That is it. 3 parts, 3 weeks, the best of Wizard basic training, how to draw, getting started. Thank you so much for joining me on this book look. I appreciate it when you guys watch. I appreciate every one of you that likes and subscribes, especially to the channel. But hey, if you're watching this video, slap that thumbs up. Takes 2 seconds. And share the channel around. It's because of viewers like you that I'm able to do this stuff. And also because of you guys, I'm able to do KOR-DRATH, The Awakening, the 2nd volume in the KOR-DRATH saga. The trailer's going to play. The link is in the description below. I don't want to give anything away because I want you to see the trailer and then click that link. Go over there. Get yourself a copy. I'm working on the book daily so we can get it to you and bring you the best possible book because you guys are the producers behind the book. Thank you guys. Catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.